Greetings. I'd like to talk to everybody about dreadlocks. I have another workshop coming up at the end of November, and part 2 of the workshop will be middle of December. And I want to talk about what it is that I teach and how it differs from other teaching modalities and techniques of dreadlocks. There's many different types of hair, and there's different ways to get the hair to lock up in a way that looks consistent and acceptable, and it's going to be different for each person involved. So in the United States, in most cities, the common form of locking up hair tends to be twisting. And twisting works on hair types that are extremely coarse and curly, because when you twist the hair upon itself, all of those different directions of curls, they latch onto each other and they hold it into position, and then you get a perfect little coil. So a lot of times when you see people that have tiny little perfect long skinny dreadlocks all over their head, maybe about 100 of them or more, those will be referred to as locs most often, and it works for specific hair types. There are many other hair types, though, that if not brushed will mat up, but if twisted will not lock up. So in regards to the matting, it's like, when you go to sleep and the back of your head turns into a big mat, and there's no rhyme or reason, there's no sectioning involved, it's just a big unholy nest in the back of your head, right? That's matting. That's essentially what's going on with my dreads. It's just that I have figured out a method to control this matting so that it looks consistent and is it's a comfortable, manageable hairstyle. If you took my hair and you just twisted it, which you can see my roots look twisted, right? That hair is smooth where it's been twisted, right? It's just smooth. It doesn't lock up like that. It just smooths the hair out. My hair is trained, so it will actually lock up. But if we were going to start the hair out twisting it like that, it would just fall out. It would just be like a temporary hairstyle. You could put some gooey stuff in it, right? And then it would fall out. That is not what I teach, because that's not what works. So I did research when I wanted to lock up my hair, and I'm a hairdresser, so everything that I'm going to do in regards to hair is going to come with a lot of education, understanding how hair works, and wanting to approach it in a systematic way that's going to work. In regards to my lifestyle, I am busy doing hair all of the time, so I wanted a dreadlock situation that wasn't going to require a ton of force or maintenance. I wanted to be able to start it and then have it basically maintain itself. So I came up with a method on how to do that. I researched a lot of techniques. I took a little bit from here, a little bit from there, came up with my own idea of what would work, and it works. And I'm really lazy, and my hair stays sectioned, and it's pretty consistent. So this is the type of locking method that I do, and I call it a soft method, and that's because basically I'm training the hair to do what it wants to do naturally, instead of doing what they call insta-locks, which is where you're like forcing the hair for 12 hours to shrink up as much as possible in that moment and be done and be locked up. I don't believe in that approach, because I don't think force is ever good in life, right? Why would it be good for our hair? It's not good for anything else. So mine is a soft, non-force method that looks good and works, and the proof is in the pudding. So I'm going to show you some examples of what I've done over time with hair and dreadlocks, and you can see some of them are 10 years old. I've got the beginning picture and what they look like now, and they're still going. And I think that that's good proof. I don't do any of that root tying where it looks really tight at the root. My dreadlocks tend to look a little softer at the root and more consistent throughout, but also it gives people the opportunity to decide how much consistency or natural look they want to get out of it. And by that I mean, bumps and a little bit of nature. I like a natural look, but some of my clients want their hair to look perfect. Some of them want it to look curly, some want big dreads, some want small dreads. This is what I teach. So let me show you the work that I've done. I just love this picture of these fluffy brand new dreads I made once. So about 8 years ago I started these locks, and look at them now. They are a shining example of my style, using my method and what can happen. I'm just going to show you a couple of other clients throughout the years. This was one of the first heads I ever did 10 years ago. And look at him now, still rocking those things. He also let me color them, which was such a gift. This was about 5 years ago. She just recently hit her 5-year mark. Now one of my students maintains her. These ones here were so beautiful because they were ginger dreads, and here they are at their 2-year mark. This first day head with all that thick straight hair, they were so fluffy. This was her first maintenance. And then here she is at the 2-year mark, looking gorgeous. This client wanted really large dreads, so they looked really fun when he left. And here they are at the 2-year mark. Some people just want to get the top of their head done, and here we are 2 years later. A little bit of color. For some hair, they start out really soft, and 2 years later they're right back to the length that she started with. They come in all shapes, all sizes, all textures. You can color them. These are only 1 month old. Look how great they are. This girl, I've been working on her hair for about 7 years. I love her dreads. 1-year mark. Colors. This is what I mean when I talk about somebody wanting to keep their hair curly to show off their hair texture. They're one of my very favorites. And then sometimes people want to be discreet. They want to have a little bit of creativity, so we just lock up part of their hair. My neighbors are doing construction. Some people just want it to peek out when they pull their hair up. Some people want different shapes, like a dread mullet. Everybody has a different reason for locking up their hair. It's really great to create the dreads and be able to maintain them every step of the way. But sometimes you get this. Somebody else messed up her hair real bad. They were interlocked, which is a no-no. So we worked on them for several years, and look at her years later. They're perfect. They're great. They just needed the right tools, the right amount of patience, no products, no knots. This is what you learn in my class. People will sit down after somebody else has created their hair, like these clients I'm about to show you, and you have to be able to help them. So the second workshop that I teach is the maintenance workshop. This is where you learn to do this right here, where people come in wild. You have to address the problems that they're having, come up with a solution, and give them sturdy, healthy, more consistent dreads when they leave your station. So now you've seen what I do, and you can see that in the beginning they start off really fluffy and crazy, and over time they are a self-maintaining, and by self-maintaining I mean that the method trains the roots to lock up on their own. It doesn't mean that it's going to look perfect all the time. You still have to get maintenance. I should get maintenance, right? I'm wild. But it is an organic, soft approach to making locks on people with resistant hair types. I will be teaching this workshop. It's 2 days, takes place in Chesapeake, Virginia. Someday I'm going to create some videos that you can learn online, so you don't have to come here to learn. But my method's a little different from what else is out there, and I came up with it myself, and I'm ready to share it. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'm here. Hope to see you soon. Also, my salon is called Beehive, letter B, Hive. We're in Chesapeake, Virginia. I have 2 people on staff who I've trained. So that's 3 of us that do dreadlocks on this types of hair. And then I've trained other people in the area that work on their own or traveling to festivals, things like that. So if you ever come to this area, we've got a lot of locticians who work in this method, and I hope to spread this method throughout. So take care again. Thank you.